Yeah, good day, viewers. Thank you for spending time again on Christ the Sower channel. I want to just point out some facts about, counsels and advice and its application. Counsels and advice and its application. There are some times that we listen to some counsels and motivational speakers, motivational writers, and then we hear them and then they speak so much that we are elated. And then most of the time we fail to realize that there are principles, indices, factors to be considered before there is the application of those things we heard from there. There is no submission made by any man. It is under some particular influence of the philosophy of the speaker, influence of the environment, influence of the way of life and the culture, then influence of the situation that warranted such submission. If this person is speaking out of the influence of an environment that is less severe and doesn't care too much about what you do and then how you treat other people, then such person will speak things that are so peculiar and particular to that environment. Now come to think of you who stays in an environment where the way you react, the way you treat other people is so much taken with seriousness, and then you feel like, oh, I have heard what this person said, I'm just going to be all out to what he said, I'm going to take it to the letter, I'm going to ensure I leave nothing out of it. You might end up not getting the same result that the person got, not because the person has not counseled right, not because the person is not an established motivational speaker, but because you have not been able to identify the factors necessary for the application of what you have had. I recently saw, a funny competition where a man was told you can do it. There's nothing impossible for you to do. If you set your mind to achieve it, then you can achieve it. If you want it done, then you can get it done. And then the young man just went over and then he started, breaking protocols and dealing with what is beyond him. He found himself to be blamed after it all. Why? Because the factors that necessitates that man to make that submission might not be obtainable in your own domain. So therefore, before you go all out from that, for that motivational talk, before you go all out for that motivational book you have read, why not calm down and examine the application of this submission? How relevant is it in my environment? What factors do I need to consider before I apply it? You can apply the same motivational submission, you can apply the same principle exposed onto you, and you get a good result only if you are able to identify the factors necessary to be considered in applying them. Imagine someone being taught that your leaders should not define how you live your life, those who are ahead of you should not limit your operation, and then you are operating under an autocratic leader. You will just run into a crash. Because if you go with that mindset, if you go with that submission, without properly identifying how you can apply it, it will just be like insubordination. And just as I know what is the result of insubordination, so it would look like. So therefore, before you go all out for that submission, before you go all out to put to practice those principles, examine what factors do I need to consider. What is the uniformity between the environment of the submission and the environment of application? If these are considered, then most of us we end up acting fine and doing fine. And I pray that a greater understanding of this humble submission Lord will give unto you in Jesus' name. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.